Hey, so just a couple of days back, I had posted a demo of me analyzing some data in a BigQuery project using Claude via an MCP server. And at that time, I had set up the MCP server in N8N. But what if you don't want to pay for an N8N subscription and you want to build an MCP server in your own local machine or on something like a Google Cloud Run? So for that, Google has this Gen AI toolbox in which they have something called as the MCP toolbox for databases. Now this allows you to set up your own MCP server and connect to a variety of databases, including Snowflakes and BigQueries and so on. And they've given all the instructions that you need to set that server up. Now we're going to try the same demo using this MCP toolbox, and we'll see how it goes. So let's go to Claude. In here, you'll see that I have disabled my old MCP server, and here I have enabled my MCP server via the MCP toolbox. You'll see it has similar tools, which allows that MCP server to do things within BigQuery, and of course for Claude to be able to action those using this MCP set of tools. So let's ask the same questions that we had before. So I'm going to ask, hey, do you have any data related to the Look e-commerce store in the project InsightWorks experiments? Again, even in this case, I have not spelled the name of the database and the name of the project in the same way as it is in BigQuery. We'll see how that goes. So first it failed because there is no project called InsightWorks experiments, but later it obviously corrected the name, and it's found the data set for the Look e-commerce, and it's found a bunch of tables. That's great. So let's ask the second question, which is, when was the last order received for the store? So it knows it needs to query the orders table. It's a simple query this time, but it's found the same answer. Then let's look at the third question, which was the percentage of revenue from men's versus women's department. So obviously we've not fed any information related to the fact that there exist departments called the men's and women's. The department names might not even be exactly men's, it might be just men. It needs to figure all of that out. Let's see how that goes. So it's started with asking for department in men and women. It's going to run this query, and it's found the breakup of men and women's department. Now let's ask the multi-stage complex question that we had earlier, which is an RFM analysis, where we're asking it to rank customers based on their RFM scores and give me my top 10 customers. I've also asked them to consider the last sold date when evaluating the scores, because obviously there's been no sale in the past 1 year, so it should not try and find people in the past 1 year and say that there's no one. So you see what it did here? Because I've given them this instruction, it first identified when was first order and last order date, because it will be important for the code to consider that when building the RFM, or at least the recency signal. The server is currently running on my local machine. It's not on a remote server, whereas in N8N it was a remote server that other people can also use. But you can very easily deploy this server on something like a Google Cloud Run, and that becomes like your company MCP server.